Okay, today we are taking a look at an all-new service from Straight Talk. This is a Safe Driver car connection. It's an Audiovox device, and basically what this does is it plugs into your car's diagnostic port and acts as a data logger for all sorts of things related to your car, where the car is, how fast it's going, etc., etc. And I'll demo that in a little bit. This thing retails for $139.99. It will work on any car that has an OBD2 port. Now, on the box and online, if you go to Straight Talk, it will tell you that it works in most 2003 and newer cars. There are lots of cars prior to 2003 that have an OBD2 port, so you will need to check that before you go out and get this device. This device is not going to work if it does not have that diagnostic port. Now, the next thing about this thing is that you need to keep it active with Straight Talk for it to work. Don't buy this device thinking you can just use it as a data logger and not use Straight Talk for the service, because this does not have any sort of external connection to the device. Basically what it does is all the data that's logged is transmitted via a cell phone signal to the service, and then you can get to that data from either an app that you install on your iPhone or Android, or from the car connection website, and that's basically how you get to the data. You can't install this on your car, take it out, plug it into your computer, or connect to a Bluetooth. Can't do any of that. So if you don't activate it with Straight Talk, this is essentially a paperweight. So do keep that in mind if this is something that you might want to purchase or look into. The next thing to note is that this will work on multiple cars, but you can only have one car registered at a time. So when you initially set this up, it asks you for your car data, like make, model, and year, and that's what it will use. You can only have one car per device at a time. So while you can use this on multiple cars, so you have 2 or 3 cars that you want to try it on, you need to change that data to use it. So if you're using it on one car, it needs to have the information for that car, and etc., etc. Now, the only thing that's good for, though, is to get you all the maintenance related stuff and the car diagnostics. If you just want to use the GPS stuff to track the car, where it's going and whatnot, then you don't have to do that. That will work regardless of what the model is that you have registered. So if that's all you're worried about, just where the car goes, then you can just plug this into whatever car and just have the one car registered online. But if you want the diagnostic stuff, then it needs to be used on the car that you have registered, and you have to change that accordingly when you plug it into another car. Now, since this is basically a cell phone device, so to speak, you do need to make note of the coverage area. This is a GSM device, so Straight Talk will activate this with either AT&T or T-Mobile. So you have to have that coverage in your area to use this device. So you can either look at a coverage map, or you can go to straighttalk.com, put in your zip code, and see if they offer it for your area. Now, before I get to the features of it, I'll show you how all it goes plugged into your car. So I'll show you that next, and then I'll go over all the features and talk about the things that they mention on the box. Okay, so we have our device active online. We activated it with Straight Talk. We then went to the My Car Connection website to get this thing registered. You need to do all that before you can start using this. So we're ready to install the device, and then I'll show you what to look for. Essentially, this will vary from car to car. This particular car here is a Subaru. But basically, you want to locate the diagnostic port. If you don't know where it is, you can Google it, and you will for sure find it that way. So on this car, that's exactly what I did, because I didn't know where it was. And then usually it's going to be on the driver's hand side. So basically on this car, and it might be too dark to see it, but on this car, it's right underneath the steering wheel, in the middle, more or less where the brake would be. So the port is right there, and as you can see, that matches the end of this thing. So that's all there is to talk about the device itself. So next we'll kind of take a look at some of the features and what all it does. I've already had this plugged into the car for a couple of days, so I have a good idea of what all it does, and then I'll kind of go over these things one by one.